Alright, so I think I found a game that might be worth watching. I don't know. It's going to be Spin2Win versus the Radiant. I unfortunately don't know what their team name is. And all of them are tagged up as stand-ins, but I do know Penguin Check, and he has a Divine Rapier, so let's go! Pushing down the mid lane. Well, it should be an entertaining game at the very least. Seen Spin2Win a couple of tournaments, and as I already mentioned, Penguin Check has stood in for Complexity a couple of times. And I'm sure I've seen a couple of these players here or there, whether under these names or otherwise, but it's pretty intense. We're pretty late into the game. I don't think anybody's covering it, so heck, we might as well. Let's go for it. Well, pushing down the mid lane, 22-20, an 8,000 advantage towards the Radiant team. I have no idea what led up to this point, but we have an Aegis Rapier, and this is probably one of the best ways for them to end this game. They can find any opening, critting for casual 1587. Last game's Ember was good, but this game's Ember is getting to the realm of being ridiculous, and with less Datalises even. 2 minutes on this Aegis. This is pretty tense. But also even more than the Ember Spirit, the rest of his teammates, not to be outdone, are doing quite a lot of damage themselves. A very close game when it comes to the net worth of these heroes. How can they translate? We have a Blink Abyssal on 5 that could find some sort of opening. Alright, so Siege commences. Maybe this wasn't the best game after all to spectate, but who knows? We'll just go with it. Lane Equilibrium's in a pretty good spot for the Radiant squad. They are going to pop the Lincolns and look for a stun, but nice 4-step away. He's going to be A-okay. Healing Word's about to expire, but is still there to juice up the Juggernaut to full HP. Has another Lincoln Sphere applied to him. Probably from the Weaver. They're going to punch him up into the air, backing back onto 2, but nothing happens. Literally nothing. And everybody's going to go back their merry way. Spin2Win are holding strong, and with the Aegis about to expire. Looks like Penguin Check has, at least for now, called a hiatus. And he's here in spirit, has his remnant down on the deck. He's ready to join the fray should he be needed. Maybe what they really need is this double damage rune at the top rune spot, but... oh, let's see. What have we got? Clock is broken in this game. Good to know. I'm not exactly sure when his Aegis is going to expire, but I do know that it's soon. And if this goes poorly, then you're dealing with Divine Rapier, Wind Ranger with Ags, Daedalus, or Juggernaut. Both of which are pretty darn terrifying, although Jug would probably have to drop his blink for that, and that would be unfortunate for him. Chain's going to be dropped, man fighting against him, but that Ember Spirit can't win that man fight. Rapier or not, this Juggernaut cares very little for you, especially when he's stacking with that Assault Cuirass, Vlad's, and Alpha Wolf, or they're smoking up Spin2Win. No, the Aegis is about to expire, and this is their time to fight. Aegis has been reclaimed by Roshan. He's going to be back up and running in 3 minutes 20, although the teams don't know the exact timing window. This is Spin2Win's opportunity, but they're not going to find an opening. Instead, just going to back off and munch on some creeps. Farm their woods. Feels good to get out of the base, at least for Spin2Win. Now knowing that there's not an Aegis, they know for a fact that Penguin Check is not going to be as aggressive as he has been. Oh, for Ember Spirit, what's your next item? More Daedalus, more Divine. Not sure it matters much. Ooh, that's not something we see very often anymore, but a Scythe of Vice on this Wind Ranger could certainly change the tides of this game. They find a good opportunity onto the Ember Spirit. It's a little bit difficult by herself, but they have a lot of ways, it seems, to pop this Lincoln Sphere. It is by no means going to be end-all be-all for Penguin to keep him alive. Oh, he didn't have a Battle Fury. He probably sold it to get the Divine Rapier. Now he's just going to buy it back. Alright. Alright. It's just so often that we see Battle Fury on Ember Spirit. I forgot about it as an option, but it is definitely going to help him push out these waves, and is much needed, for sure. What an interesting game. It could be over in just a matter of seconds if a fight goes awry, but that fight would have to include buybacks and diebacks and what have you, and dropped rapiers. It'd be fun. Force staff down to low ground after Tusk has blunk himself up there. And everything is going to slow down a bit. These teams are definitely taking it seriously, and I like that for sure. Shanghai Major is no joke. Pretty big deal. Smoke purchased by the Oracle. Now, can the Radiant team find any openings? Really having that Aegis Divine Rapier, that's supposed to be it. That's supposed to be the we won moment. But it wasn't. Oh, thank you. CSBD, SC, excuse me. It's Danish Bears. Yeah, they definitely have a couple of names. Rise on the Oracle. Ace on the Weaver. Nice. Alright. Well, let's see if the Danish Bears are up to the task. Charging down mid with the smoke. They're not going to find anybody, though. Spin2Win are, and what I like to call Walnut Dota. They're super tough to crack right now. There really isn't any apparent weakness. The Doom is a little out in front with his Shadowblade and Force Staff, but he's also not going to find anybody. But here comes the wraparound. This is not going to be an angle that Spin2Win expect. Smoke is going to expire. Are they going to catch vision on anybody? Not yet. Wind range is going to show. Are they going to make the move? They're walking towards it. They want it. They want it bad. And here it comes. Blinking Walrus Punch. They are going to be able to get the back and back out too, but the slide has already been spent. Still, the physical damage on the Malum is pretty darn huge. Omni Slash, however, the turnaround from the Juggernaut's going to instantly kill off one. And the Radiant team is falling to shambles. They committed so hard for that Doom, and he still lies standing. Rise is going to be swiped down. Chasing for this Doom is not going to work out well for them, especially when they pop the Lincoln Sphere, punched in the air, and brought down to the ground. The only one who survives is the Ember Spirit, but he had to play that so carefully. You can't really blame Pinkman Check for that. He already committed his Sleight of Fist, and once you do that, that's pretty much your job. The Ember Spirit was able to get a good amount of damage off, but just not enough. He couldn't stay any further. Did even finish off the Doom, and now Spin2Win have a pretty big opportunity. Granted, there are 3 buybacks available to the side of Danish Bears, however. Buyback Oracle. That's number 1. Spin2Win are going to split the focus of the Danish Bears to go from mid lane. They're going to throw a quick purge onto 5. Not that he really cares at all for the Oracle shenanigans at this point. There's also a Moon Shard on this Juggernaut, worth noting. Buyback on the Weaver. The second buyback is going to be enough to repel Spin2Win, at least for the time being, as they wait, presumably, for the Doom cooldown and an Aegis of the Immortal. Roshan has since woken back up. He's ready with the Aegis and the cheese in the pit. And now Juggernaut going to make very quick work of this Roshan, even though it is more than an hour inside this game. Roshan is quite easy to take down. Drums of Endurance are going to be dropped, and Doom is going to be the happy recipient of probably one of these fine Roshan droppings. I don't know. I suppose in the literal sense, but that sounds nasty. Aegis of the Immortal cheese is going to be left on the ground, or who picked that up actually? I'm the worst. It was picked up by the Tusk. Blink Dagger purchased by the Ember Spirit. What does that replace? Monkey King Bar. Okay, so what the Blink Dagger over the MKB allows him to do is split push a little bit more aggressively. And that's nice and all. But I think he's going to be needing his base. There's going to be a good amount of item juggling coming out from this Ember Spirit. Maybe even Boots of Travel replaced with an MKB. I don't know. Even check, can you do it? Are you up to the task to defend your base? It's going to be a hard one for sure. Although, granted, he does mop up these creep waves pretty quickly. Anti-illusions mopped up instantly by a Sleight of Fist. And creep wave didn't last much longer. The direct approach probably not going to work here for Spin2Win, but that's where they have Secret Agent Wind Ranger in the mid lane. She's going to push that out. They need to make sure that they have the pressure on multiple lanes here. The Ember Spirit can't really defend all of them. And although they're more than capable of mopping up the other waves, it's not super fast Weaver, incredibly single target focus. Oracle's wave clear is mediocre at best. Alright, stalemate down the bottom lane. Can Spin2Win break this? Can they find an opening? This is very reminiscent of the push that we were seeing in mid lane. Coming out from the side of Danish Bears. Let's weave and go, guys. Spin2Win up to the high ground. Now with a good amount of armor, those Weaver attacks are all but tickling the Juggernaut. Chains onto the deck, anything to delay. The creep wave's gone, and we're just gonna have to wait for the next one. Up to the high ground, there's gonna be a large amount of damage onto this tier 3 tower. They will be able to bring it down even through backdoor protection if they can just get a couple more hits off, and it looks like they will. As Juggernaut, in fact, spins to get that tier 3 tower and get a little bit closer to winning. Power shot. It's gonna mop up the creep wave, and we're in for a very similar show for the next couple of minutes in this game. If you have another game you want to watch that's not being covered on any other channel, feel free to drop that by, as long as it's from the Shanghai Open qualifiers. If you want something a little bit different, MPGL is being covered on HeflaTV 1 by Mike Flores, so that also, of course, be something to go ahead and go over and watch. Juggernaut's going to stare at this melee barracks as Wind Ranger takes it. All according to plan. He is going to take a big crit coming out from the Ember Spirit, but that's not going to bring back your barracks. The first of the game, backing back onto 2. Sleight of Fist also. But again, just not quite enough. Danish Bears have to play so timidly, and that's really unfortunate for them. Spin2Win's initiation is just really scary. Blink Abyssal, Blink Hex, Blink Shackle, Doom. Oh, speaking of which, sorry for missing out on camera. It's a Doom on Darkseer as he tries to run away from it. A couple of shots over on his Soak Guard. Blink in, Omni/Ace. Going to be demolished. The B can be popped by Jollum. The Wind Ranger is going to be able to get a little bit of distance with the Weaver's dieback. Sleight of Fist Cleave will kill off the Tusk, but you need a little bit more of that Pingvin check doing battle against Malum. Purge is going to be thrown. Misses completely. Pingvin check smacked by the Abyssal Blade. And Doom is going to be repelled. Is it called Abyssal Blade? Should. Infernal Blade. There we go. Getting my spell names all mixed up. The Abyssal Blade is on the Juggernaut, and that's on cooldown, as I was used to win the other fight. Shackle latches on the poor Spirit Breaker, but with Purge off, coming up from the Oracle, he's going to be able to save his life, but it's not the life that matters. What matters is Pingvin check and his ability to hold. MKB is now on his person, Sleight of Fist, but it looks like we're in for a Mega Creep situation. I don't think he can stop this Juggernaut from taking your base. Divine Rapier or not, he's just not doing the damage here to 5. Vacuum back, however, maybe they can make this happen with the Cleave. The Divine Rapier is going to bring down 1 life of the Juggernaut, but he has buyback. They hold, but at a hefty cost, and if you can even call it holding, he gets the double kill by mopping up Wind Rangers, so that's very nice as the other allies TP home. Now Ember Spirit's going to TP up towards top. You need to get something in return, and what he wants is this melee barracks, forced at the buyback at the very least of the Juggernaut. Does he have a defensive remnant? Does it matter? The Lincoln Sphere is going to be popped. Doom has no Doom available, and the remnant back towards his allies, and Ember Spirit's home free. That's a big win for Spin2Win. Even though the Aegis did absolutely nothing. Be real here, that's really good for them. Finally breaking the stalemate of this late game situation. Now if you're the Ember Spirit, I like this move. Get yourself another Rapier. No sense in holding back. I think he has buyback and Rapier. Yeah, he has buyback and Rapier. They need to do something now. They're banking on the fact that Wind Ranger and Juggernaut don't have buyback, and even if they do have buyback, you just need to go. He has 2 Lincoln Spheres on him. First one's going to be popped. Second one going to be popped. The melee barrack still hasn't fallen. Now or never. Bottom lane is pushing in. Danish Bears need to get something. Can they? I don't know. Change dropped onto the Tusk. Ember Spirit again. Lincoln's Lotus. He has the balls. Lotus Force Staff is going to push Tusk back in, and Ember Spirit as well. Nothing more. Melee Barracks dropping low. Blink in punch. Pingvin checks thrown in the air. Dazzle's going to touch himself. Vacuum back onto 3. Not enough damage though. The Sleight of Fist is going to connect onto 2. Healing Ward on the deck. They'll bring down the Tusk. That's at least something. And now maybe they can kill off this Juggernaut. Juggernaut did naturally respawn, though, and definitely has buyback, as he has 11,000 gold or something ridiculous like that. Malum inside the base. Penguin check can taste blood, but Wind Ranger's inside his own base, mopping up the top lane. And now Jalem's going to work on the tier 4 towers, making quick work of them at that. They need to go now, and they need to finish this game. Can they do it? This is getting pretty intense. Wind Ranger still going to town on that tier 4. Omni Slash is going to be thrown. He's bashing Penguin check. And the first Rapier is on the deck, but he has buyback and a secondary Rapier. He's inside base trying to stop Jalem. Divine Rapier hits the floor. Who's that going to be given the way of? Buybacks all around. This game still goes with a Divine Juggernaut now. Blink Dagger is, I believe, been dropped inside his stash, and he's ready to go. Alright then. What are you going to do about this Juggernaut? He's coming down your mid lane, and he is pissed. And your barracks is exposed, or your throne is exposed, rather. I think he just spins and takes it. Now, how do they stop him? You have another strike? And you have damage. You do have another Divine Rapier. But maybe you're not going to have a Weaver soon. They spot him out, hex him up, punch him in the air, and Ace will drop. They're going to get a couple of bashes, but with a heal, they're going to be able to bring him to his knees. Weaver has diebacked, and Penguin check pretty much stands alone. He has an Oracle, but that's not much. Console him here. Penguin check is going to get his Lincoln's pop. And now can they get him? Shackle Throne, not going to latch onto anything, but the Hex, you don't need to latch that one, turn into Pig. Penguin check is going to go down, but even faster is going to be the Radiance Ancient, as Spin2Win are going to take this best of one. Well played as they advance in the Shanghai Major Open Qualifiers, and we look for another game. Alright. Go ahead and pause the recording.